you for a fox. Let's talk business. And let's turn it up a notch. It's your time to shine with you for a fox. It's all coming together. Just keep your eyes on God and tune in. And let's talk with you for a fox. Hey, for a fox. You for a fox.
Let me start with something I see repeatedly as an industrial organizational psychologist. People don't lose alignment because they lack clarity. They lose alignment because pressure convinces them they're running out of time. And when that happens, the instinct is to move faster, to resolve discomfort quickly, to decide before we feel ready to move just so the pressure stops. But pressure is not always a signal for urgency. Sometimes pressure is simply the moment where alignment is being tested. Before we continue, I want to welcome everyone joining from LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. I am Dr. Jafara Fox, industrial organizational psychologist, speaker, author, consultant, educator, and I am happy you're here. And so if you feel comfortable, say hello in the comments and share with at least 3 people. Share with at least 3 people. And the topic for tonight is when pressure rises, the discipline of staying aligned. This isn't just something to watch. It's a space for us to think together. And I'll be asking questions throughout, and I invite you to participate however it feels natural to you. And as we move into this conversation together, I want to return to where we began, because something I've observed both professionally and personally is that pressure rarely appears before clarity. It shows up right after we recognize something needs to shift, right after alignment becomes visible. And at that moment, many people assume pressure means they need to move faster. But what if pressure isn't asking you to rush? What if it's asking you to stay aligned long enough to hear yourself clearly? So let's explore that together. And so I want to ask you, when pressure shows up for you, do you tend to move faster or step back? Type fast if you feel yourself rushing when pressure shows up, or do you pause? Type pause if you tend to slow down or withdraw. And so I want you to type that in the comments if you tend to slow down or withdraw, or if you move fast. As soon as pressure comes, you feel like I have to make a decision. It's something I need to do. You get anxious and you feel like that you need to solve some things and make things happen. So I want you to put pause or in the chat or fast. And that's when pressure comes. What do you do? How do you respond? Here's something important. Pressure and urgency are not the same thing. Urgency is about timing. Pressure is about sensation, the feeling that something must be resolved now. And many people confuse the two. Pressure often increases right after alignment begins, not because something is wrong, but because change feels unfamiliar. So we have some comments in the chat. It depends on what my pressure is, if I'm moving in a fast pace or if I'm pausing. And when clarity emerges, the nervous system reacts. Uncertainty increases and the brain seeks relief quickly. And that's why pressure often sounds like decide now. I got to decide now. I got to do this. I got to move forward. I don't want to miss this moment. Something is going to happen. I'm going to miss this time. But pressure is often responding to discomfort, not actual urgency. And so I just want you to just take the time to just think about that. If you're pausing, then you move forward, that is great. If you are going right into it on pressure, and I will say for myself, I have learned to pause. I need to take a minute to kind of think about what direction that I need to probably go into. And so I've learned to help myself to pause before I move forward. And I experienced this when I decided to return to school. And for a long time, waiting felt like a responsibility. I wanted to go back to school, and timing didn't feel perfect. Waiting felt like a mature decision. But once I acknowledged what I truly wanted, pressure immediately showed up. As soon as I said, yes, I'm going to do this, I can do this, questions about timing came. Questions about my identity. Can I do this? Am I capable? These Spelman College, the young students, 17, 18, 19, questions about whether I was already too late. So many things went through my mind. But what I realized was this: pressure wasn't telling me to rush. It was revealing whether I trusted my alignment. And I knew that I was in alignment by attending Spelman. And it wasn't just about going to school. I wanted to make sure that I attended the school that I knew was going to be right for me. And so once I made that decision, all of those things come up in your mind, and came up in my mind, and thinking like, I can't do this. This is just going to be too much. How am I going to be able to do this? I have a family. Just you name it, it was everything to try to just change that. But I knew that what I felt, I knew it was right. And that's why pausing is so important. And so if you're just joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. And today we're talking about when pressure rises, the discipline of staying aligned. And I want this to be a conversation, not just something you listen to. So I'll be asking questions throughout. I want you to engage in the chat, in the comments. And if you're here live or on the replay, say hello in the comments and let me know what platform you're watching from. Welcome to LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. And I want to pause here for a moment because something important is emerging in this conversation. When pressure rises, many people assume it means they need to move faster. We talked about that. I need to make that decision. But what we're exploring today is now pressure often shows up right after alignment begins, not before. When you're in alignment, you're needing to make a decision, the decision that you need to make or to decide to do. As soon as you get in alignment with knowing that's the right decision, then that's when pressure comes with all of those things. And the discipline is not rushing towards resolution. The discipline is staying aligned long enough to understand what is actually being asked of you. And so the title tonight, a topic is when pressure rises, the discipline of staying aligned. You want to make sure that you stay aligned. Yes, in the comments, it's what is called imposter syndrome. And I believe that is real, but you go through your mind and you talk yourself out of it. You can't do it. And I want to ask you again, when pressure shows up for you, do you tend to speed up or step back? This is for ones who have joined later. You can type fast or pause in the comments so that you can join in with us and engage with us. When pressure shows up, do you go fast or do you pause? And that's something I want you to think about next time something comes up for you, that you take the time. And I encourage you to pause before you make a decision, before you say something, before you move forward. And there are three disciplines that I want to share with you to help you stay aligned when pressure rises. And so, first is discernment. Not every urgent feeling requires immediate action. If discernment feels challenging for you, type discernment. The second one is regulation. You want to stay grounded emotionally while clarity is still unfolding. You don't want to be emotional. You don't want to make decisions out of emotion. That's why pausing is so important, so that you can ground yourself. And if regulation feels most burdensome, type regulation. And the third one is identity trust. Believing who you are, becoming even before validation appears. Do you believe that you're able to do it? And that resonates. Feel free to type trust. Do you trust who you are? Do you believe that you can? And so now I want to make this a bit practical. What kind of pressure shows up most for you right now? Is it time pressure, expectations from others, self-doubt, fear of missing? And these are, so in the comments, drop A, B, or C in the comments. Is it time pressure, expectation from others, self-doubt, or fear of missing opportunities? What kind of pressure shows up most for you right now? Are you feeling pressure? And so I want you to kind of ponder on these things and to resonate, so that when you are, because it's important for us to be in alignment. And when you're in alignment, you're able to think clearly. You're able to make decisions out of not rushing, but you're pausing. You're taking that time to pause. And you're not just moving so fast. Because you don't want to be in a space of the pressure. And so tonight's topic is when pressure rises, the discipline of staying aligned. Because you want to be aligned. And so I'm not just speaking from a place of just professionally, but personally. Personally, of how I've been able to just move forward and try to stay calm when situations come up, to pause, to think, to not be in a space of being emotional. And so before we close, I want to leave you with this. Pressure doesn't mean something is wrong. And I think that's what happens, is that we think that when it comes, that maybe something is wrong. And often it simply means you're standing at the edge of something that matters. Staying aligned in those moments isn't about being perfect or having complete certainty. And I know we want to have everything all laid out. We want A, B, C, and D all laid out. We want to make sure we have all the things together. We want to know what it is. But sometimes you don't have all of the information. You don't have everything that you need as you move forward. And so because it's not perfect, or you want it to be complete, I got to know it doesn't not mean that you was not supposed to make that decision. Sometimes things will unfold for you as you go. And that's what I talked about, discernment, using your discernment and being careful when the Lord is speaking to you, that you are not going in a space of discernment versus avoidance. Sometimes we avoid things and we label it in a spiritual perspective because it's an avoidance. Because we don't have all the answers. So we think that it's the uncertainty because we don't know all of the information that we shouldn't move forward. And then the pressure comes, and then you really won't move forward. And then if you are in a space, depending upon the community, the people that you talk to, if they talk you out of the pressure that you're already under, you probably won't make the decision. That's why it's important to have the right people that you share with, the right people that you're talking to, the right people that you're able to bounce things off of. Because if they project their feelings onto you, then you may not make the decision. You may not move forward. And I think we need to keep that in mind. Who are you talking to? Who are you allowing in your ear? Who are you allowing to encourage you? Who are you allowing to be in your space to help you so that you're able to move forward? Because sometimes in situations, I'll say, like for myself, I use the example of going back to school. Well, it wasn't so much about, I believe at the time, going back to school. It's where I decided to go, because Spelman College is not a traditional school. Majority, 99, probably 98% of their students are traditional students, versus going to another school which have traditional students and non-traditional students, older students as well. And so if I would have talked to someone who would have made me feel like, well, maybe you should try somewhere else, those already something that I already know, what I just said, then I might have been like, well, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go to another school. But when I shared it, I just had raving feedback and help and encouragement to move forward. And that is what makes the difference. And so that's why I want you to be careful about when you have things, like who you're sharing things with, who is in your ear, letting you know, pushing you, saying, hey, you got this, you can do this, you can make it through whatever situation or whatever decision that you need to make. And that is very important. And so it's about trusting yourself enough to move or to pause without abandoning who you are becoming. You have to trust yourself. Trust yourself so that you don't abandon who you are becoming, because in that decision, you are becoming, you are evolving, you are growing. And when you are growing, you don't always have all of the details. And that's okay not to have all of the details, because I do believe in my experience that the details will unfold, that what you need will be provided. When I think about college and going to Spelman, the people say, oh, that's very expensive. And it's very expensive. And that's true. That's true. But you know what? My faith, that's important to me. And I was in alignment with knowing that that was my decision. Then God made a way. It worked out. I remember walking into the student account area, just unfamiliar, wasn't sure where to go, what to do. And I'm sure I must have had like this, I guess, looking like what's going on my face. Like, okay, she's confused. She don't know. This lady came out, older lady, and she greeted me. Miss Hill is her name. And with such a warm smile. And it was just beautiful, right? There was my first angel. And she says, what's going on? What do you need? What do you need to do? And I told her what I needed. That's why I was at the Student Account Center, because I didn't have all of what I needed to get started. And she says, oh, come on back to my office. And so we went back to her office and she worked things out for me, and I was able to get started. I had what I needed. And then when I got ready to graduate, you have to have your balance paid, everything taken care of. And guess what the Lord did again? I walked into the student account office, and who comes out? Miss Hill. And she says, I'm so excited. You're getting ready to graduate. Oh, I'm so proud of you. And then I shared with her, well, what I needed. Come on back to the office. And I tell you, she worked out so that I could have everything that I need except some cents. And we chuckled about that because she was like, I'm going to leave just this 25 cents or 26 cents for you to have to take care of in your balance. And she made a phone call and pulled a grant or some scholarship or something that they had for me. And I was able to take that and get my balance paid for me to graduate. And so I just shared that with you in hopes to encourage you to know that even though you don't have all of the details, that when you're in alignment and you're pausing, you're moving forward, you're not allowing pressure to keep you from, making a decision, it will work out. It will work out. I'm a living witness. It will work out. And so thank you all so much for sharing. If you're just joining, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your host, Dr. Jafora Fox, and thank you so much for spending this time with me. I so appreciate your support. Don't forget to share. I truly appreciate you being here and thinking with me, because this is about thinking. This is about hoping that this resonates with you. And it's something that you can think about the next time you get ready to make a decision, that you're not waiting. Because as we talked about last week, not making a decision is costing you. Even when you don't make a decision, it's still costing you. And not making a decision is still making a decision. And so if today's conversation resonate with you, I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you continue these conversations with me as this season unfolds. Ask your friends and your family, your colleagues to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's the Jafora Fox Show YouTube channel. And I would greatly, greatly appreciate that if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. And so I just want to leave you with this. Stay aligned and take care of yourself. And I'll see you next time.
Jafora Fox, let's talk business. And let's turn it up a notch. It's your time to shine with Jafora Fox. It's all coming together. Just keep your eyes on God and tune in. And let's talk with Jafora Fox.